Hey guys, Julian here, and today I'm going to be showing you how Stussy and Toman made their new EP. I'm going to be showing you some techniques I picked up on listening to their music and just kind of showing you how to do the style in general. As usual, you get the project file and samples, and MIDI and presets, all of that stuff in this video in the description, and if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it's already available. Let's dive in. So the first sound that we have here is this first little chord stab, which sounds like this. So what this is it's actually white noise. You can hear it's just some white noise, and then I have it going through this resonator here, which is what's creating the chord sound. So I'll show you the synth. It's, like I said, just some white noise. It's going into a bandpass or into a low pass filter. The low pass is being automated, and I'm also automating the envelope of the low pass. So if I turn off the resonator, you can hear this a little bit more. So this automation is how we give this sound like movement and life. This is how we make it so that you can hear like the timbre of the chord keeps changing. This is how we do that. It's essentially letting more and less of the white noise into the resonator, and that's how you get the sound. So then after that, I have a bit of echo. You can see this is on 16th notes, and I've got the duet on this being automated a little as well. So this is just going into the resonator. It kind of makes this a little bit different and just a little bit more interesting after, like, when it's ringing out. Here's without it. You can hear it sounds more like a straightforward chord stab, but this obscures it a little and gives it kind of more vibe like I was hearing in a lot of these tracks. After that, we have the resonator. So I've got this tuned to D sharp minor 7. You can see we got D sharp as the root note. That's the key word, D sharp minor. I've got a minor third, I've got a fifth, and then I have this note, which is a minor 7th. And yeah, I'm just giving us a D sharp minor 7 chord. After that, we've got a bit of echo doing dotted eighth notes. I've got a bit of reverb as well. These both just giving some space. And then we have a bit of drum bass on there to fatten the sound up and kind of tie it all together at the end. And that is it for the first chord. The next sound we have here is the second chord, which sounds like this. So you can hear what that's doing. This one is a pretty similar little chord stab. With this one, it's actually made using just 3 sine waves. You can see we got some FM going on here. Here is... There we go, there's the sound, and then I have those 3 going into a low pass filter, which has an envelope on it, and then the resonator. So yeah, it's a pretty simple little synth patch, like I said, just some FM with a low pass filter. We got that going into a chorus, and then it goes into the resonator. The resonator is tuned the same way that the last one was, where I've got it tuned to a D sharp minor 7 chord. And yeah, and for the notes on this one, I'll show you. It's just playing a D sharp minor. You can see we've got D sharp, the minor third, F sharp, and then the fifth, A sharp. And then I'm just taking the D sharp and put it down an octave. So after the resonator, I've just got a bit of echo. Just doing 16th notes. And that is it for the second chord stab. The next sound we have here is the third chord stab, which sounds like this. So you can hear this is just in there for the groove. You know, it plays on the upbeat there after basically like every 2 bars. Just kind of adds more space. If I turn it off, you can hear it feels a little empty at the end of every little part there. So yeah, and with this one, the notes that it's playing is it's just playing a D sharp minor 7 chord. We got D sharp, F sharp, A sharp, and then C sharp. Pretty simple there, but then for the sound on this one, it's made using operators. So with this one, you can see that it is just 3 sine waves doing FM. So the FM is a really good way to make these types of chords because you get a little bit more of an interesting sound. Versus if I just use a saw wave or a square wave, it's going to be very saw wave and square wave-y. But yeah, then I've got this going into a low pass filter. The low pass has an envelope on it. I'm also automating the frequency a bit to give it some movement, make it feel a bit more alive. And then after that, we have a resonator. This is tuned again to a D sharp minor 7 chord. Here's without this. And then with it. So you can hear it really makes this sound a lot more interesting and gives it that like fullness. After that, we have a bit of echo, just doing dotted eighth notes, and then I have this drum bus to fatten the sound up. This also really helps get it from what you heard to this. And yeah, that is it for the third chord stab. The next sound we have here is the fourth chord stab. 2 more to go. This one sounds like this. So what this one is this is more of like a drone. This is just playing throughout the track. It restarts every bar. And what this is playing is it's playing a D sharp minor 9 chord. So it's the same D sharp minor 7 chord that you've been hearing. That's a D sharp minor 7. And then we just add this minor 9th on top of it. And the way you find the minor 9th is it's just 1 note down from the 3rd. And then I've also added this A sharp on top. So that's just the 5th. So there we go. So there's the chord. And yeah, this just kind of drones over top of everything, you know, gives it a bit more like musical atmosphere. You think if I turn this off, it feels a bit more dull. But this really brings it to life. And a lot of times I'll hear like they'll sample a chord from a song, or like there's a lot of different ways you can do this. This is just one method of doing it, but this is definitely an important element, albeit a background one. So for the sound on this one, this is made again using some FM with 3 sine waves. Again, just a really simple way to create interesting sounds. I've got those going into a bandpass filter, and then I have an LFO on the bandpass filter as well as on the volume. So that's what's giving it that whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, it gives it a bit more movement and makes it so it's not just like sitting in one place. But now you can hear that movement in the background of the track, and it really brings the overall thing to life. So then I've got a bit of chorus on that, as well as a bit of echo and some reverb, just giving it space. And then we have a compressor side chaining this to the kick a little bit. And then the last thing we have on there is this auto filter cutting out the lawn. And that is it for that fourth chord stab. And then the last chord stab we have here sounds like this. So for the chord on this one, this is actually playing the same chord I just showed you. It's a D sharp minor 9 with the extra 5th on top. And for the sound on this one, it's made using operator again. So this is another FM sound. Again, just the FM chord sounds. Really good way to make interesting kind of like sounds. With this one, I was going for more of like a string. Like this honestly sounds kind of sampled to me. I wanted it to sound like a sampled string. But yeah, and then I have that going into a bandpass filter. The bandpass is being automated, so we get some movement, and it's kind of, you know, doing something different throughout the track. It's not just the same thing the whole way through. And yeah, after that, I've got a bit of chorus, just kind of spreading the sound out, as well as a bit of reverb and echo, giving the sound some space. Then we have a bit of saturation to fatten the sound up, and just make it a bit bigger. And then the last thing here is just this high pass filter cutting out the lawn. And that is it for that last chord stab. So next thing that we have here is the kick, which sounds like this. So this kick is pretty simple, you know, it's your standard sort of like big punchy kick you'd hear in a lot of these types of tracks. With this one you can see I've got it tuned. So we got this here, and yeah, I've got it tuned to D sharp or E flat, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. You can see I've got the transpose, but I've also got the D tunes. The D tune's important because if you don't do that, you can see it'll be slightly off. And then if we try to play this with the bass, it's not going to gel as well as this did. So yeah, just got a bit of saturation, fattening this one up, as well as this EQ8. This is just boosting there for the punch. And that is it for the kick. The next sound we have is the bass line, which sounds like this. So this is really simple. It's just in D sharp minor. You can see we've got D sharp, we've got this F sharp here, we've got G sharp. So it's pretty straightforward stuff. With this one, it's more about just making something simple and really groovy like this. Like, we have a lot of movement happening with the percussion and with the chords and all that stuff. So having something just really straight and groovy like this works really well. For the sound on this one, this is made using operator. This is, again, just an FM sound with 3 sine waves just playing off of each other. I've got a bit of glide on that, so you can see I got the voices set to 1, so it's monophonic, and then we've got the glide there. That's for that one little, that those like really low bass glides sound good underneath everything in the mix, I feel like. So yeah, then we just got a bit of saturation, fattening this one up, making it a bit more full. And then I've got a compressor side chaining this to the kick a little bit, as well as this EQ8. And this is just cutting at 100 hertz and boosting the one a little. So a lot of times the kick will have a lot of punch. You can even see it happening there around 100 hertz. So if we cut that on our bass, it makes room for the bass to be more in the low end, and then makes room for the kick to be hitting at 100 hertz. I have the kick and the bass in a group together. This is called the low end bus here. So just kind of fattens everything up, makes it so it fits together a lot better. It's like taking everything in the low end, putting it together, and trying to treat it kind of as one thing. So here is with no effects on here. And then with the effects, you can see why we do this. You can see the difference that it makes. So the first thing here is the drum bus. With this one, I've got the drive on medium, and I've got that turned up a bit. And then I also have this transient shaper here. So the transients here is very important for getting the kick to hit it a little bit harder. Here's without it. And then with it, so you can see, this is where this kind of stuff makes a big difference, because that little difference of the attack in the kick, it's really going to make that kick and the bass stand out a lot more on the track. And the other thing this does is kind of compress the sound together a little, so it pushes the kick and bass closer together. After that, we got the EQ8. It's just boosting the low end, cutting out a bit of mud at 242 hertz. And then I've got a little bit of a boost there for punch in the kick, as well as for the bass a little bit. And that is it for the low end bus. So the next thing that we have here is the percussion, which altogether sounds like this. So this is obviously quite a bit of stuff. With this style, this is how it works. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to sort of break it down into the types of things we got. So the first thing here would be the hi-hats, which in this case is this open hi-hat and the shaker, which sound like this. So these are probably the most basic foundational thing. This is what I started with when I was starting this out. These just give it the constant groove. We got this open hi-hat here. You can hear it's very bright and very sharp. I've got the high end boosted on that, and I've got the low end cut out a little as well. And yeah, just a very sharp and quick hi-hat like this as well. You can see I've got it shortened a little. So just these really tight, hard-hitting hi-hats like this. And then for the shaker, you want something a little bit more understated, something a little bit more chill like this that's kind of quiet. This just gives you that in the background without being too much. After that, we have the clap. So I'd say the clap and the hi-hats are probably the most important things here. And yeah, with this one, it's just more about the type of clap you choose. Just this very punchy and quick sort of clap like you hear in a lot of minimal tracks. Then after that, we have the percussion. So we got these congas. These are just 2 conga samples I put into a drum rack. I hear these a lot in these kind of tracks. Then we've got this little percussion drum rack. Just these 2 little percussion sounds that I put into a drum rack there. You can hear what all this stuff is adding too. You may not notice it when you're hearing it all together, but when I break it down one by one like this, you start to be able to hear how all this stuff is fitting together and how it all works as well. Then after that, we have this little bell that just plays that one hit there. We have this little zap sound as well. So yeah, it's all about having kind of your main things like the hi-hats and the clap, and then maybe you get something underneath those like this where it's a little bit more straight. Kind of adding some percussion, then we add in a little bit more. And then you add in something like this that's just happening every now and then. But yeah, and then I have all the percussion in a group together, just like with the low end, the kick, and the bass. This is a bus. Just busting all this percussion together to make it all a lot closer together in sound, as well as just tighter and fatter in general. Here's with nothing. And then with everything. So you can see why we do this. So the first thing we got here is this reverb. This is just giving everything a little bit more space. This helps to tie everything together. I talk about this a lot in my videos, but when you put a little bit of reverb on everything like this, everything in the percussion group that is, it makes all the percussion sound closer together because it's all in the same room now. It's all in that same space. So yeah, then after that we got a bit of drum buses, fattening everything up. Making it hit a little harder with the transients as well and compressing it. This also helps to bring out the reverb a little. And then the last thing on there is just an EQ8 cutting out the low end and boosting the high end. And then that is it for the percussion bus. With this video, I also want to try something a little bit different. I put some mastering stuff on the master because a lot of times when I'm trying to get this stuff to sound close to the reference tracks that I use and to the styles that I'm talking about, a lot of times the thing that's missing there is the mastering. Like, it sounds like a cop-out, but it is the truth. Like, you're not, like, if you're referencing mastered tracks and you're not putting mastering stuff on your track, obviously, it's always going to have that little, like, 10 or 15% that's not going to quite get there. So I wanted to put this stuff on here so this track would really just sound like a full professional track in this style. And also I could talk about mastering with this style. So the first thing we got here is this EQ8. This is really subtle. I would normally use this a little bit more, but we didn't really need to. Here, you can see I've just got a little bit of a low mid-range cut, so just cutting out some mud, and a little bit of a low-end boost, and a little bit of a high-end boost to boost the low-end, and the high-end with like the kick and bass, and then the percussion. So yeah, that's really subtle. Here's without it. And then with it, it's mostly for cutting out the mud. Then after that, we have the saturator. So this really takes everything and ties it together. It's the same idea as like using a drum bus on the percussion group or on the kick and bass group. It's like when you saturate everything at once like this, it makes it all feel a lot closer together. Here's without it. And then with it, so yeah, you can hear it. It's very subtle, but it's giving everything a little bit more power. After that, we have this compressor. Here's without this. And then with it, so you can hear this makes the mix feel more even. It makes it all feel kind of closer together in terms of just like volume levels. Like the saturator is more to glue it together. This is more just to get the volume levels more even. So yeah, you can see I'm not really doing a whole lot of compression here. You don't want to go too crazy. I just got the attack up a little as well. We got makeup gain turned off. And then the last thing here is the limiter. And so this just takes it and gives it a little boost. And gets the volume up. And you can see we still have a bit of movement here. I turned it up pretty high, just to really get it like pushing. But we still have a bit of movement there. And it's not just like completely a brick, you know, so yeah, so that's me for this one, guys. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get the project file and samples and MIDI and presets from this video in the description, and if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it's already available. Before I go, I'm dropping a remix tomorrow. Here's the cover art. I'm really excited for it. It'll be on my channel, so make sure to tune into that. As always, thank you very much, guys, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.